Hey guys, so now in this video we'll be doing about partial molar volume. So now in partial molar volume to start with we'll have an experiment which helps us the need of partial molar volume. Okay, so now first I'm taking 5,000 liters of water and 5,000 liters of C2H5OH, or let's consider very large amount. Okay, and then add 1 mole of water in both the cases. I think this is a common example. I think in any textbook, any video, wherever you watch, you will have this experiment to explain about the importance of partial molar volume. Okay, so now you are having 5,000 liters of water and then you are having 5,000 liters of C2H5OH, you're adding 1 mole of water in both the cases. Okay, so now the change in the extensive property with respect to the change in the molar concentration or molar composition will be observed here, and then but then there will be a slight variation as well, which we will discuss now. So we are adding equal amount of water in both the cases. What is the actual expectation? The volume will raise in equal amounts because equal amount of water has been added. So we will expect a similar change here. But then what do you observe? What is the actual observation? The actual observation is the raise in the volume will be 18 ml here, but raise in volume will be just 14 ml. You're adding equal amount, but then the raise in volume is different. So now here the reason behind this fact is supposed to be the change in the composition, because it's water and water, and here it's water and ethanol. So there's a change in composition. And next is supposed to be the molecular interaction between them, because you'll have repulsion, attraction. You must have learned in chemical bonding about various interactions between the particles, right? There's a change in interaction and then change in the composition, and then because of that, the influence in the change in the extensive property with respect to the molar concentration will be a little different. So now to talk about this change and to talk about this anomaly, which is an increase in 18 ml here and increase in just 14 ml here. To talk about this anomaly, you will bring in a factor which is known as partial molar volume. Okay. So now in various textbooks will have graphs to talk about this. You can refer the textbooks. K.V. Narayanan, for instance, is a very good book where you can refer for the graphs. But then the graphs are not of much importance. The concepts are more important. So now let's just go on to the concepts. So when you take partial molar volume, now let's write the basic definition which you have been writing in terms of M. So VI bar is equal to dou V by dou Ni at constant temperature, pressure, and Ng, which is not equal to Ni. This is the actual common definition which you have been learning from the beginning. And then the next one is we have to write the same equation in the fundamental property equation way. Okay. So now what is the fundamental property equation say? In the first video we spoke about that. The actual change in a molar property is equal to the partial derivative of that with respect to every component. So with respect to pressure means temperature and number of moles. I think I must have already told in the first video. Please keep it as Ni itself. Okay. And then your dP, and then dou V by dou T, and then dT, and then pressure and Ni constant, and then you have dou V by dou Ni, and then you have Ni, dNi, and then P and T as constants. Okay. So next is, what is the basic definition of a partial molar property? Say temperature and pressure will be constant. Okay. Now we are not considering open system, closed system to consider your dNi. Temperature and pressure must be constant for partial molar volume to calculate. So now this factor will become 0 and this factor will become 0. Am I right? Yes. So I am excluding all these factors here. I am writing dV by dNi, and then I'm bringing in the factor dNi also, and then next is including the factor sigma to account for all the number of moles, all the moles of the solution. To include, I think in the beginning I didn't include because it's just for one specific, just 1 mole, but I am considering for all the moles. Okay, all the moles. It can be A, B, C, D. It can go on and on. So I'm to consider for all that, I am putting the symbol sigma. Okay, so initially I wrote only one component. I shouldn't be doing that. So now let's put sigma here, and then afterwards let's consider a binary solution where I can write the same dV as dou V by dou Na dNa, plus dou V by dou Nb, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nb, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nb, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nc, plus dou V by dou Nb, plus dou V by dou Nc, 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 plus dou V by d dN. Okay. So now this is what I'll get after considering temperature pressure constant, and then after including the sigma factor to consider all the number of moles in this case, and then afterwards I'm bringing in one more point that it is a binary solution, so it will have only two components. Okay. So now note this down, which says dV is equal to dou V by dou Na into dNA plus dou V by dou Nv into dNb. Okay. So here this V, I think you have to put the bar. I'm sorry, you don't have to put the bar. I'm sorry, you don't have to put the bar, because in the end this dou V by dou Na will become the bar component. Okay. So let me write the same thing again and then make the point clearer. I must have not told it clearly. dV is equal to dou V by dou Na plus, I mean the dNA, and then dou V by dou Nb and dNb. Okay. So now dou V by dou Na, I can write it as VA bar, dV itself, and then I have dNA, and then dou V by dou Nb, I can write it as VB bar, because it is supposed to be the partial molar volume. Okay, we have learned that property. So now dNb. Okay, so now I can take integral on all the sides and find the actual value, and then here I'll write this V, and here VA comes out. Why does, I mean, VA bar comes out? Why does VA bar come out? As I've told you initially, VA bar is an intrinsic property which does not depend on mass. Okay, it's an intrinsic property. So now there's a change in your number of moles, nothing happens to your molar property. Nothing happens. So it comes out. Okay, so now VA bar comes, so now you'll have dNA integral 0 to Na, and then you'll be having your VB bar also comes out because of the same reason, integral 0 to Nb, and then you'll be having your dNb here. So V is equal to VA bar Na plus VB bar N. Okay, this is the actual relation for actual molar volume and then the partial molar volume of a binary solution. Again, please keep in mind the small mistakes which I make in the video. I keep correcting it. You should also make a note of it. The one thing is I forgot to put the sigma. Sigma is important because all the components of the solution must be considered. A solution cannot have just one component, right? It should have more than one component. So all the components must be considered, for which sigma is important. Even if at all sigma has been missed in any part of the video, include sigma everywhere. Okay. So now we have spoken about your volume, just the total volume with respect to the molar volumes, and then you have one more thing. Okay, so now one more thing, which is nothing but your total molar property. I'm generalizing the fact total molar property with respect to your number of with respect to mole fraction. Okay, I can write this XA, and then I can bring in the factor VA as well. Okay, and then you have XB and then VB as well. Okay, so now this is supposed to be a relation, I think, which is not used in most of the cases. I'm just mentioning it because in once in a while they make it as a note. Okay, M dot. Okay, you actually mention this as M dot. I think the bar also will not come. Most of the textbooks, the bar also will not come. M dot is equal to the mole fraction of A with the partial volume of A and plus mole fraction of B plus partial volume of B. But then the most used factor is V total, and that is equal to number of moles of A plus VA bar plus number of moles of B plus VB bar. This is the one which is used everywhere. Whether the first one is this one is used, the first one is not used. But since it's there in the textbook, I am mentioning the fact here, which is the total molar property. It can be any molar property, but then to be very specific, it should be volume. To be very specific, it should be volume. Then only it makes sense for us, right? So then you will bring in the factor of mole fraction. Okay, so total molar property with respect to mole fraction, total molar property with respect to number of moles. Okay, so now next is we have to go a little fast. So next one will be the way to measure partial molar volume. Okay, so now the way to measure partial molar volume, there is supposed to be an experiment which everyone needs to know. The experiment is that you have to take two components. Okay, So component 1 and component 2. So you are supposed to consider one of the components to be of constant volume or a constant number of moles. Let's consider your factor 1 to be of constant number of moles. That means you have to add little by little of component 2 into component 1 until the desired concentration is attained. For example, I need some 30 molar concentration means I will have component 1 of equal number of, same number of moles right from the beginning. Okay, I will consider a number of moles to be unity for the purpose of deriving the equation to find the partial molar volume of this. Okay, our main aim is to find the partial molar volume of this fact component 1. Okay, for that you are considering the number of moles of component 1 to be unity. You will consider that to be unity, and then afterwards you will consider the fact that the substance from the second component is added gradually. Very little amount of substances will be added. Okay. So now let us talk about the change in volume in this case. So now change in volume B. Okay. The change in volume B here, considering the fact that N1 is equal to 1 and N2 varies. Number of moles here, N1 and N2, that will be equal to V0 1 bar. Okay. V0 1 bar, which is supposed to be a factor for pure substance, and then you will have AN2, and then you'll have BN2 3 by 2, and CN2 to the power 2, and then it goes on and on. So now next is the question, what is A and B? Okay, ABC. ABC is something similar to virial coefficients. Okay, virial coefficients, again, as I said, these are all the basics which I have not made videos on, but then you would have learned it in your lower classes. But virial coefficients are supposed to be certain coefficients which depends on your temperature and the amount of substance which is there in the equation of state. Okay, when you go through the concepts regarding equation of state, you will have virial coefficients. Each virial coefficient's value can be obtained from the graphical representation, graphical interpretation. So via that you can get the values of A, B and C. But for our understanding right now, these are coefficients similar to virial coefficients which depends on the temperature and then the number of moles or the amount of substance. Okay, and here N2 is supposed to be the amount of substance which you are initially adding. You're initially adding some amount of moles. Like for example, you're adding 1 mole of N2. N2 is some number of moles, you're adding only to the power 1 of it. And then afterwards, N2 to the power 3 by 2. That means to the power 1.5. And then to the power 2. So you keep increasing the amount of substances from component 2, and you will keep adding into component 1 so that you will get one certain concentration. Okay. So now let us write the actual definition. P2 bar equal to dou V by dou N2, and N1 is equal to 1, and then which is equal to constant, which is not equal to N2, temperature and pressure. Okay, this you have understood because I have told you that we are doing everything, we are adding into the first component. That means you are finding the partial molar volume of the first component. So because of that, the number of moles of the component will be constant, and you're considering that to be unity for the calculation purposes. Okay, so this has been written, and then next is the fact that remember just now we wrote the fundamental property equation, and then we consider the fact that for a partial molar volume or a partial molar property, the temperature pressure will depend constant, and we put dt and dp as 0, and you will be left with dv is equal to sigma dou m by dou n into dn. Okay, yeah, just now we did. And then I say sigma is very important, which is used for considering all the properties. So now you will use that equation, and then we derived it till the end as V is equal to VA bar NA plus VB bar NB. That means total volume with respect to the partial volumes. That's how we derive that. Using that, we will bring in a relation for the so that we can find the partial molar volume of the component. So now we describe the experiment and we describe certain equations and all. Okay. So now let us talk about the other factors. So now we are considering this to be V2 itself, and then what do I say? You need the factors dou V, dou T and all, because you have to bring in the partial volume in the end. No, you have to bring that. So now let us differentiate the whole thing with respect to N2. Differentiate with respect to N2. If you differentiate with respect to N2, what happens? You can easily bring in the partial molar component in it, so that is our main requirement. Okay. So before that here, this is supposed to be your partial molar volume under pure condition. Partial molar volume of the substance under pure condition is represented by the letter V01, does not play any role, does not cause any changes in the partial molar volume in the actual condition, does not have any role. Okay, and then this one actually becomes a constant and it becomes 0 on differentiating. So I can write this V01 as V01 bar as V01. Okay. Why? As I said, in pure condition, V01 bar is equal to V01 because we just know in the previous video we derived that in the partial molar condition and in actual molar condition it will be the same if you consider it a pure substance. Okay. So V01 bar is equal to V01. That's one thing we need to know. And next one is it does not play an important role in influencing your partial molar volume of the first component. Because of that, when you differentiate, this whole factor goes up and it becomes 0. Okay. So now V2, we are considering V2 so that it becomes more specific and we have to bring in the partial molar component in this whole equation. So you're supposed to differentiate partially with respect to N2. So now dou V2 by dou N2 equal to 0 plus A plus 3 by 2 B N2, okay, half minus 1 becomes 1 and half minus 1 becomes half plus 2C and 2 and then this goes on. Okay, this is all these things are done just for you to understand that an experiment is being done. Now let us go to the actual point which I said before, like while considering your dp and your dt to be 0 and then we brought in a relation. In the fundamental equation we consider dp and dt to be 0 and then we got in one relation, right? Now let's go to that factor. Okay, now we consider that your V, total V, that is equal to VA bar N VA bar NA and VB bar NB and all. Okay, and then just in this video also we would have done. You can just recheck again if you're curious at this point. Okay, so now you have got this equation. Now we are considering the factors component 1 and component 2. Change it for our understanding. So V1 bar into V2 bar. Okay, what is our assumption here? The number of moles of unity for one component. That's the assumption that you have made. Okay, so make it as V is equal to V1 bar plus V2 bar N2. So V minus V2 N2 is equal to V1. Okay. This is the equation for the number of the partial molar volume, equation as well as a relation for partial molar volume of the component 1 which we wanted to find. Okay, so now in this we discussed about the basics. So now let's just see if you have discussed everything. We have discussed about the basic relation and about your fundamental property equation and how we brought in the condition of partial molar volume. And then afterwards, next one is supposed to be the experiment with ethanol and water. And then afterwards, the relation which we don't make use of, which is a total molar property with respect to your mole fraction. But then the one which we use frequently is the one with number of moles. And then we learned on how to measure partial volumes of component. Okay. So now in the next video, we'll be doing about partial Gibbs energy and then followed by the factor chemical potential, the basics alone. And then after doing ideal solutions and then colligative properties, we'll come back to chemical potential and do the detailed study on it. The upcoming videos will be a very basic idea of, will give you a basic idea of chemical potential, but then in the forthcoming videos, which is after around 3 to 4 more videos, you will have a detailed study on the chemical potential. Okay, so thank you, please keep watching on.